afternoon, Rotarians. So I have the pleasure of introducing Joe Stabs, guest speaker today. He unfortunately isn't able to be here, but I had the opportunity to meet Tuyen and Chris as they came in here today and get to know them a little bit. And I've heard about their passion project turned publishing company, and that's what they're here to talk with us today a little bit about. And so with any further ado, I want to introduce Chris. Chris, come on up here.
I know that you've heard that I was from Designsensory, and I'm not going to talk about Designsensory. We're going to start. Tuyen and I have started a little side project that grew out of passion, and it really is publishing. And but we're at the very beginning of our journey. A little bit about us. Let me see if I get the right way.
You turn it on.
I did. Yeah. There we go. So about us and what we're up to. What we're up to is writing a children's book. So this grew out of just an idea, sparked an idea. And so my official name for my author name is Poppy Wise. And that's because I have 14 grandchildren that really sparked this, and love every one of them. Just don't get to see them enough. But day to day, I'm the executive director of Designsensory Intelligence, which is a division of Designsensory, where I'm vice president of Insights and Strategy. Designsensory is a local agency. We do work for folks like the Zoo, and others that been in business we're in our 23rd year, employ about 53 people and continue to grow. We do work also for state of South Dakota, the governor's office of South Dakota, and economic and community development and workforce development. We do work for the state of Tennessee, same work, type of work, as well as got our start with the state in tourism development. Anyway, also do a lot of work, particularly specifically research as it relates to diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. And with that work really sparked, going through that and talking to so many people in so many different disciplines, the importance of really understanding what that was. And we also found that so many people were just talking about it. It was a trendy thing to do and just checking boxes off. And so while in our day-to-day, we work with it a lot, it also has infiltrated our day-to-day lives. And that's what's so important for us here. So it's that drives me, and I'm going to let Tuyen introduce herself.
Hi, I'm going to stand on my tiptoes. I'm the VP of Design and Content at Designsensory. Chris and I have been working together for maybe 9 years. And I started out as a graphic designer. It was my passion. But also around that time, I had my daughter. And so I always dreamed of illustrating children's books. And then 12 years later, Chris presented this opportunity to me and I jumped on it. And really, although she's 12 by the time we were done, I think the messaging of our book is something that is relevant for her kind of coming into her teenage years as well. So I thought it was a nice full circle for me as, kind of chasing that passion.
So we gave all of you a bookmark. there's a series of 5, so if you really want the set, we can look you up. It's really important. So yes, our book is called I Want to Be a French Fry. More about that. Why the book? It really is a book. It's a book about love. It's about loving yourself and loving others, and told and presented, we believe, in a charming way, and really believe it's important for children, well, and adults to really understand this message and embrace it. So again, my day-to-day work really kind of illustrates the importance of diversity and inclusion. And again, with my 14 grandchildren, they love the message. They all love to read. And so we begin. And you?
Yeah, and I think overall the challenge that I faced as the illustrator was trying to take something that majority of people love, French fries, and then making it relatable in like a personified type of way. So really, this was just an interesting challenge for us to really help people kind of connect to the messaging of diversity just in a different way.
Now what you've all been waiting for, we're going to read to you. Sit back, relax. It'll take about 2 minutes. I Want to Be a French Fry by Poppy Wise and Tuyen Ho. I won't show you the pictures though. You'll see them later. I want to be a French fry. They're very warm. That makes me warm inside. Some are too hot. I don't want to be hot. What is special is that they're all different kinds of French fries. That means more to know and love. Different sizes, shapes, and colors. Skinny ones, like shoestrings. Thick ones and wedges. Seasoned and salty, or just potato. They can be made with different types of potatoes, different colors like gold or blue, pink or red, white or purple, russet or sweet. They can be from different countries, USA or Germany, Japan or Russia. All so different, yet all just potatoes. Kind of like people. We can love them, we can care about them. So being a French fry is good, because everyone loves French fries. But French fries get eaten. Oh my! The illustration's better. I think I'll just stay a person, but I'll love everyone, just like I love different French fries. And that will keep me warm inside too. The end. So it's now more than just a passing fancy. We went ahead and, because we deal with different creative thoughts all the time, and in this case, we had the idea, decided to go ahead and print it on our own. And we also believe that we'll only ever print it. It's not an ebook. It's something that a parent or an adult sits down with the child and reads. And we will only do it that way. So we had to learn a little bit about publishing business, of which we knew nothing about, and we're still learning. The entry into publishing is a difficult one. You have to find an agent that likes you. You have to find, then that agent take you to a publisher and they say yes, and they get lots of submissions at a time. We decided we weren't that patient, and so we said, oh, we'll just order it. So we secured an ISBN number so anybody could find the book, and we went through the copyright process, and then we found a printer locally, and we'll only keep it local as well. And then said, okay, now let's market. So we started out the hard way. We're still at that hard way. And that we do lots of readings, particularly in schools, from Montessori schools to Tate's and others, and the response is just phenomenal with the educators as well as the students. So those are selling books one at a time, the hard way. Also, getting in brick and mortar stores is a challenge as well, particularly when you have good, busy daytime jobs. Publishers will talk to us once we've sold 2,500 books, and then they'll talk to us, but not before then. We're 10% there. But we're having so much fun, and being with the children, seeing their reaction just solidifies what we believe our story is all about. So we're looking at new approaches. And because of the business we're in and the growth of influencer marketing, some of you may have heard about that, some not. So we've actually challenged the owners of our company to belly up to the bar a little bit and say, you got to prove to us influencer marketing works. So we're about to embark on an influencer campaign with 3 different influencers nationally, with them specifically to drive us to our website to make a purchase. Fingers crossed that does something. That, and we're also finally going to put it on Amazon. We hadn't done that, and we're just going to fulfill ourselves for the time being until we can't do it anymore. And then we'll print a bunch for them to distribute. But we're hoping for great things. But it's a learning, because along with that, do you want to add anything to this? No. Oh, more pictures. So we've had numerous authors. There are lots of people that write, but then it sits on a shelf that have come to us and said, will you be our publisher? And we said, well, maybe, but hold on, we're not there yet. We really want to. And so as soon as we get through our learning process and we know what works and what doesn't work, they're waiting and anxious. I have probably 6 manuscripts sitting in my inbox right now to review. And we're going to try to structure it in such a way, because also with publishing, the author tends to get the least amount of everybody in that food chain. We want to change that as well. So again, because it's born out of passion. We also have some of our next books working. Our next one is Carp in the Koi Pond, same sort of story. But all in all, again, we're going to also look for partnerships with schools, with others we'll give the book away to get in kids that need to hear the message. It's that important to us. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're right now in the phases of just really seeing how we can extend just even these characters. So really just looking at all the potential for a series of stories that involve, the different fries or even merch, just looking at stuffies for the children so that they can really connect with the characters. And just that we think there's a lot of potential that we just haven't really had the time as full-time employees to really push and explore, but we're excited about it. So
we are, and there's no one that has pushed back and say, what a terrible story to tell. We'd be surprised if that happened, but it's been very encouraging, and we hope that you would, if you want to find the book. You can go to sparkingoutpublishing.com, or we have copies here to sell. But we also have it in Union Avenue Books, Bear Den Books in Sequoia, and Fork and Cover in Clinton, and that's the extent of our retail presence. But again, it's just what's fun is here that we just didn't write and say, oh, that was great. We decided really to go after it, make something really happen with it, because again, the passion is there, and hope it bleeds to other people to pick up the ball and run with it. It also feeds us into what we do day to day, because we're talking. Last year, I was in New York talking to folks that are responsible for sports venues, stadiums, and their premium seating, and talking about just diversity, equity, inclusion. The research we've done that shows that with avid football fans that are disabled could fill every U.S. NFL football stadium 11 times a year. That's every home game and a few playoff games. And that's just folks that are disabled. The room gasps because people don't really understand how many people, your neighbors, how many here have a disabled, are disabled in some way, and to be inclusive and embrace everyone that you see and come in contact with. Thank you. Questions?
There's got to be a story behind the name of your company. How'd you come up with Smirking Owl?
Oh, well. The longer the short. Actually, we started down another path, a couple of years ago. We were gonna do some coffee roasting because we're another wild hair we had. A coffee roasting business, and we came up with two brands because there were two different markets. One was rocking chair roastery and what that was gonna be the parent, and then to folks with a little bit different attitude, it was smirking out, but we loved it so much, we love this for publishing, we're gonna keep it, since she designed the logo, we were good to go.
Yeah, and we really jumped into the publishing company super quick, so having that already, you know, going through that creative process already and having it available is really helpful.
Have y'all looked at any partnership with Dolly Parton's Imagination Library Institution?
We have, they only accept books from, through Penguin, Penguin Books, a division of Random House, so we're out. We also looked with a fast food provider. One that loved the book, and they do books as part of their kids' meal programs. But they'll only talk to authors who have a series of 7 books. So we just said, oh, we'll be back. So, and that's a chain that sells 24 million kids meals every 3 months. So we're really gonna write a lot to get there. So, yeah, but again, that wasn't our passion. We just saw outlets to get the message out, and that's part of it. So, yeah.
Kind of piggybacking on what he said, because I was thinking of Imagination Library too, is you're talking about the next book. We could exclusively license it to that publisher to get the name, your all name out there.
Yes.
And they do 2 million books a month through the Imagination Library.
I know.
That would be really nice. Yeah, we've been slowly just learning things as we go and trying to figure out the best approach for where we want to go next. But that's good information.
Yeah, and the good news is in this entrepreneurial journey, we don't have to make anything happen fast because of where we are in our lives. And so we're being cautious, methodical, but also try to be creative at the same time, which is really a nice place to be when you're headed down this path. It's not like we're investing everything, and if it doesn't work, we're going to lose everything. We're investing cautiously and going about it that way. And so we're, again, learning and not haven't made too many mistakes yet.
Yes, I just have a personal question for both of you. What is your favorite children's book and why? Not your kids' favorite children's book, your grandkids' favorite children's book, your own personal favorite children's book.
Mine's The Giving Tree, always has been, and read it ever since my youngest would listen to me, and even until they stopped listening to me. How about you?
There's a series called The Day the Crayons Quit. And me and my daughter just always laughed at all the different crayons. And I think I kind of channeled that as I was illustrating this book. It just inspired me because they found such a fun way to make the crayons have their own personalities. But it's just such a fun book.
There's a question. Yeah.
Couple questions. Is this just a personal project and not specifically Designsensory project?
Correct. It's not Designsensory.
Okay. So I'm just curious, a lot of creative folks at Designsensory, I've seen some of their work and things you did for state of Tennessee. Are any of the folks that are there maybe left over from the old little communication days or scripts networks folks? I'm just curious.
No Whittle people. We do have some that spend some time in scripts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How do you get into a local bookstore? You just go in and meet the owners?
We went in and the first one was Bear Den, and we went in, and usually they have people come in and want to sell them books. We just took a different approach. We took a handful and said, will you carry our book on consignment? And they said, oh, sure. It worked for them and for us. So yeah, it's just knocking on doors in those cases. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.